Good morning, friends. In the last video, we have seen the basics of service-oriented network. Then we have seen what is the service-oriented network, how there was a paradigm shift from network-oriented architecture to the service-oriented architecture. Then we have seen the service orientation in edge network. In today's video, we'll see the different types of service-oriented network, so which support some flexible messaging and which have paradigm shift from network oriented architecture to service oriented architecture. So these are some types of service oriented networks, such as content based network, programmable networks, overlay network, mesh network, and cooperative network. In this video I will try to cover the first three types of service oriented network. So let us start with the content based network. So content-based network is a communication infrastructure in which the flow of message through the network is driven by the content of message rather than by linking the specific sender to the specific receiver. So with this communication pattern, the receivers subscribe to the types of content that are of interest to them without regard to any specific source, or you can say unless that is one of the selection criteria. So senders simply publish the information without addressing it to any specific destination. So the conventional solution to this include the first allocating the bands of address to the each type of content, and interest then to multicast the content to this band of addresses rather than to specific receiver. The second approach is to use a content based subscribe, or you can say that the publish or subscribe the middleware services. For example, an application level information broker which supports the rich information selection capabilities. However, both of these would not scale up to support many different kinds of content and the interest, which combines with the higher performance. So in a content based network, the nodes are not assigned unique network addresses. Essentially, the data is not addressed to any specific node or node group. Instead of that, each node advertises a receiver's predicate that defines the data of interest for that node, and the node intend to receive that data. So nodes can also send out the datagram, which the network will forward to all the nodes with matching the predicates. Similar to a traditional network, the semantics of content-based addressing scheme is realized by the forwarding and the routing functions in a router. The router computes its output based on the datagram content and on its internal forwarding table, which is maintained by gathering and combining and exchanging the data and other routing information, which are particularly adjacent to the nodes. So this is what all about the content-based network. The next is the programmable network. So typically the service provider which do not have access to the router, for example, the router controls the environment algorithm and router states. So in order to optimize the network use for the different applications. So this makes the deployment of new network services, which could be far more flexible than a proprietary control system. And sometimes they're impossible due to the close nature of network nodes. The programmable network, it allows some of the network element to be reprogrammed dynamically, perhaps by injecting the executable codes that could support the application specific services into network elements such as the routers and switches. Now the downside or the disadvantage of this is that the complexity increases and there is an increasing risk of instability and for the malicious code to take control of your core network element. And that's the reason Campbell in 1990, he identified two main initiatives to establish the programmable network. The one was Active Network, which was introduced by a research group called as DARPA, and the other is the Open Signaling Community, which is sometimes referred as OpenSig. Now, the main difference between these two is that OpenSig approach seeks to establish the open programmable network interface, whereas The active network approach is to support the injectable executable code into the network's element to reprogram them. So an example of Open Network API is the Parlez OSA initiative, which was introduced in 2003, which provides a good survey of active network research. So this is what all about the programmable networks. In next slide, we'll talk about the overlays network. An overlay network is basically a virtual network which is built on a top of physical network that provides an infrastructure to one or more applications. It handles the forwarding and the handling of application data in a way that are different from the basic underlying physical network, such as the internet or your public switch telephone network. It can be operated in an organized and a coherent way by the third parties, which may include the collection of end users. So there are many standard applications such as email, VoIP, that is voice over IP, web search engines, etc., which can benefit from providing the services in a spatial intermediate service node, which can collect the cache information. Now the overlay network, they have the major benefit in that the new communication service can be introduced, which might require modifying the current internet infrastructure, which may increase the cost and the need for coordination of the internet service provider all over the world to make this kind of global updates feasible to all. Now there is another issue is that the different application may need the different level of reliability, performance, and the latency, security, access control, so on and so forth. So the nodes in the overlay network, they are connected by virtual or the logical links. And the application specific overlay network, they can be incrementally deployed on the end host, which is running on the overlay protocol. So one of the earliest type of overlay network was used by the telcos to offer a non-geographical phone numbers services such as free phone numbers, local rate phones, premium rate phones, which are charged at the same rate no matter where they are dialed from. So this is all about the first three types of service-oriented network: overlay network, programmable network, and then we have seen the content-based network. Thank you for listening patiently. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video, we will discuss about the mesh network and the cooperative network. Thank you. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.